Pressed for time, but craving a bold salsa flavor? Well, I am making a quick and delicious shortcut salsa that satisfies my cravings when I don't have my homegrown salsa on hand. In fact, when I run out of my garden-grown salsa, I make this recipe and I can it and restock my pantry. Today I'm gonna make a batch so it'll save me time in the future. Let's go. So here's what we're going to use in this shortcut salsa recipe. First of all, I've got my stock pot. I've got a immersion blender, because you're going to make the texture like you want it. You're going to have canned tomatoes. I just got the petite diced tomatoes from the grocery store. And you're going to need Mrs. Wage's medium salsa. It's a tomato seasoning mix. And let me tell you what's in it. You know that in traditional salsa, you have onions and peppers and jalapenos and all those things that you got to chop and dice. Well, here it is. Ingredients: onion, green bell pepper, jalapeno pepper, chili pepper, garlic, salt, and spices. So it's in there for you. Can you see the ingredients? That's what we're going to use. I've got just enough tomatoes based on the recipe on the back of this bag. Now you'll see I've got some lime juice out. I'm not going to use it, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. And we've got some vinegar. 5% acidity, correct? 1 gallon, canning, cooking. I thought it used to say that on the jug. Diluted with water to 5% acidity. Got it. All right, that's what we're going to use. Let me move my noodle board off the stove and we'll get started. Now, for my family, this easy salsa is the essential tomato base that we rely on. We enjoy it in the traditional way with chips, like you would traditionally eat salsa. Did any of y'all grow up eating rice and tomatoes? Now, if I'm going to eat rice and tomatoes, I want my tomatoes like this. I want this flavor on them, as opposed to just plain stewed tomatoes, which they're good in their own right, but I like this little something, something extra. I think my daughter's favorite meal when she was growing up, and her meemaw made it for her, was tomatoes and rice, a biscuit, smoked sausage, and maybe mac and cheese. I'm not sure, but that was her most favorite meal growing up. And meemaw made it for her anytime she wanted it. But we use the most of this salsa either with chips, or I use it as my chili base. And, you know, salsa is just one of those ingredients that can transform a dish. I mean, it can take it from bland to grand. Whether you're grilling meat and you top it with some of this salsa, vegetables, top it with some of the salsa, tacos. It's just a very flavorful salsa, and it just ties everything together. And let's be honest, Who doesn't love a delicious salsa? Yes, before you say it, I know this isn't the authentic, every item came out of the garden fresh, chopped, diced, cut, pureed. I know it's not that salsa. This is a shortcut, easy, convenience item when you don't have that on hand. Or in my case, when you didn't grow enough tomatoes in the summer to get you through the year in your pantry. Then you have to improvise. You have to run, get you some canned ones from the grocery store and make something that you and your family enjoy. Now, not only not having enough fresh tomatoes on hand, just think of the amount of time spent in the kitchen when you're prepping those vegetables, chopping all those vegetables. When it comes to making fresh salsa, and I think we've all been there, standing in the kitchen, you're tired, you're hungry, and you just wish you had a quicker way to get it done. I mean, who has time to chop up all those onions after you've worked all day and you got to get something on the table for your kids and your family right away? So we want that fresh flavor, but we don't want to spend an hour in the kitchen prepping everything. But sometimes that happens. We get discouraged. We end up opting for a store-bought salsa instead. And I'm not totally against that. It has its place. But I'm here to tell you, that's not your only option. What I'm here to show you and tell you today is that there is a shortcut that can give you the same great flavor in a fraction of the time. Are you interested? While this is coming up to heat, I'm going to get my blender plugged in and start pureeing this mixture. Now, I showed you lime in the ingredients a minute ago and told you we'd talk more about that later. If I was using this for salsa only, like salsa and chips, I would put a dash of lime in this mixture. But I'm not. I'm going to use it as chili base mainly, and then I'll put lime in it if I want it when I eat it as salsa and chips. But not for now, not what I'm going to can. Now you can leave your salsa chunky, or you can take it right on to the stage of being pureed. And I'm somewhere in the middle. We'll get some of these diced tomatoes in a more liquid form. But you can see all the dehydrated vegetables in here. Ain't no shame in this game. This is a tasty, flavorful salsa. You know what? I'm going to make 2 recipes, 2 batches, if you will. I may go ahead. I think I can mix it all in that one pot. I think. Let's see. That'll be 3 more 28-ounce cans of tomatoes, 1/2 cup vinegar, and 1 packet of Mrs. Wage's medium salsa mix. I wonder, I've never looked. I wonder if she makes mild or hot. I'm sure she does. That way we can do this pureeing once and done. There's a can. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have room. See, if I wasn't making a double batch, this would already almost be ready. Just a few more minutes of simmering and it would be ready to eat. But like I say, I'm gonna make enough I can can it and get some back in my pantry. I love being able to come in and say if I'm gonna make chili tonight, brown my hamburger, I like mushrooms and such in my chili, but get my veggies in there and then pour my salsa in. It's got a little spice to it, which I toned down with cheese and sour cream. Another packet. Another 1/2 cup of vinegar. You just cannot go wrong. I need to do the math and see how many jars this will make. I hope everybody's having a good fall season so far. We're still a little warm here, 70s and 80s, 80s, more like 80s. And it's trying to rain now. We need a little bit of rain, but my goodness, this makes it so humid. All right, I'm gonna let that come together. We go again. How do you like your salsa? You like it chunky? You know, the restaurants around here, the Mexican restaurants, the salsa they put on the table is pretty thin. Pretty loose, pretty watery, pretty thin. See how we do it. It's not bad. I like it somewhat thin, but have a little bit of texture to it. And I think we're there. So I'm going to let this come on up to pretty much a little boil. Then I'll turn it down and let it simmer for 10 minutes, and we'll be back. And that's it. Your salsa is ready in just a few minutes. No more chopping, no more dicing, no more sauteing. Just blend it and heat it up, let it boil for about 10 minutes, and serve it. This shortcut is a total game changer. We have found that we love it, and I'm excited to share it with you. Okay, you think it's cooled enough that I can taste it? I just want to make sure it doesn't need any salt or anything else. You get a small chip. All right, going in. You can see that's pretty thin. Can you see it? Ooh, she's smoking. She's still hot. All right, here we go. Oh, that's delicious. A little bit of heat. A little bit of heat, but nothing that some cheese or sour cream can't fix. Okay, you saw it, guys. That was the moment of truth. And that's the flavor that I'm talking about. It's fresh, it's vibrant, it's delicious. And the best part, it took us like 5 minutes to make it. Now, let's recap. This salsa shortcut saves us time, it saves us effort, and it provides us the same great flavor as a homemade version. It's a win-win. Now, I'm going to wrap this video up. I'm going to go on and can this salsa. I've got a whole stock pot full of it over there. I'm going to get my jars washed and I'm going to get it canned so it can go in the pantry. I may save enough of it out to make me some chili tonight. But you know what? I believe in food's power to bring people together. And this channel is about creating a welcoming community for sharing the love of home-cooked meals. Together we'll learn, we'll laugh, and we'll build lasting connections through our recipes. So if you've got a salsa tip or trick or shortcut, I want to hear about it. Leave it in the comments below. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And meanwhile, we'll be stirring up friendships one recipe at a time. You know, there's a lot of videos out there on making salsa, and that's fine. There's good, authentic salsa, and I love it as good as anybody. But it does point out, or you can see in the video, you spend a lot of time chopping and just preparations. And this video showcases a quick and easy shortcut using canned tomatoes, canned tomatoes, salsa mix, and a blender. I hope this approach appeals to individuals out there that are like me. Sometimes you come in and you're in a hurry to get a meal on the table. And this one is still bright, it tastes fresh, and it's full of flavor. So anyway, I said I was going to wrap this video up. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Talk to you later.